and they had to take advantage of it. That was what the task was not worrying about who was in front of you, who was playing and who was not playing, but just bounce back from what was a terrible, terrible performance against the Denver Nuggets in a game where they lost 157 to 103. Could they bounce back? Because the defense, which has tried to be their calling card all year long, was not there against Denver. Well, it was there against Phoenix, but the offense, it wasn't. They needed every bit of that defense to win the game. After the first quarter, it was 20-20. In the second quarter, Portland outscored Phoenix 27-20. In the third, they outscored Phoenix 24-17, and in the fourth, they outscored them 21-20. I don't know how long it has been since there's been an NBA basketball game where through 4 quarters, not a single team surpassed 30. That just feels weird. And I don't know how long it's been watching an NBA game to watch a single team go in and not score more than 20 points in any quarter. 20, 17, and 20 for the Phoenix Suns. Defensively, the Blazers were locked in. They forced 23 Phoenix turnovers. They turned those into 24 points off of those turnovers. Portland had 17 fast break points, 18 second chance points, and points in the paint. They led 52-34. Taking a look at the individual box scores, starting on the Phoenix side of things. Starting lineup: Jalen Green, Colin Gillespie, Mark Williams, Royce O'Neal, and Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn had just 2 points on 1 of 9 shooting. Royce O'Neal had 0 points on 0 for 5 shooting. Mark Williams was 3 for 8 for 6 points, which he only played 15 minutes in this one, but considering last time he matched up with Portland, it was a 24-piece that he put on Donovan Clingan and co. Defensively, the Blazers were ready for that. Colin Gillespie, he was hot last time they played Portland. And it took him a little bit to get going, but he eventually did in this one. He was 7 of 14, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. He led the team with 18 points, and then Jalen Green had 13 points. On the bench, it was Amir Coffey and Jeremy Bouye, who had 8 points each off of the bench. 77 points in total for the Phoenix Suns. When we talk about the defense from the Trailblazers, they forced the Suns to shoot just 36% from the floor, 25% from beyond the arc, 9 of 35. And then, of course, 19 player turnovers, 23 turnovers as a team, a couple shot clock violations in there and such, and it was just a good defensive performance from the Blazers. Nothing coming easy for the Phoenix Suns. On the Trailblazers side of things, 12 points for Toumani Camara. He also had 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block shot. Jeremy Grant, after having just 6 points against Denver, rebounded nicely, 23 points. He had 2 rebounds, an assist, and a block shot as well. He was 9 of 13 from the floor, so he was very efficient. Also 9 of 13 from the floor was Donovan Clingan, who arguably had the best game of anybody that night. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 blocked shots. He did have 5 turnovers. We'll talk about those every single game because they seem to rear their ugly little head. But outside of that, a phenomenal game from DC. Drew Holiday had just 6 points on 3 of 12 shooting, so not a banner night from him. Denny Avdia did not fill anything up in the stat sheet because he only played 59 seconds before leaving with that back injury getting re-aggravated, and he is out tonight. Scoot Henderson, rough night. 4 of 14 from the floor, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. He had 6 assists, 4 turnovers, end of the night with just 11 points. 6 points for Chris Murray, and Matisse Thybulle had 3. Robert Williams had 4 points, but now his injury status is questionable moving forward too with some foot soreness. So we'll see as the team tries their best to get healthy, but the injuries keep coming up. Regardless, the whole story of that game against Phoenix and how they won it, it was defense. Defense won them that ball game. They needed every single point. They needed every single stop. They needed every single block, every single steal. Everything was there. Offensively, it was a struggle with a capital S. It was not good. It was not good at all. But on nights like that, when you can rely on your defense to get you stops and win you games, that's a good thing. That is a good thing because I'm very confident that the things that were not going well offensively will fix themselves. I don't see Scoot Henderson going 4 for 14 every single night. I don't see Drew Holiday struggling like that. When Denny does get back, I see him playing more than 59 seconds. Like that's what offensively will be there. They'll get theirs. They'll find their shots. They'll be fine. Defensively, though, they need to lock in every single night and have chances to win. That's what happened against Phoenix, and they need to do that again tonight. Like Marcus says in the YouTube chat, let's see DC do it again versus a big lineup. And I just got done talking to Chad about that. Like, this is going to be a massive test for Donovan Clingan against Rudy Gobert, who is completely different than anything Phoenix was throwing out there. Phoenix was going small the entire time. Now, Rudy Gobert is not, the athlete that Jared Allen is. Jared Allen is so quick, and he doesn't look quick, but he's quick for a big man. And, he took it to Donovan Clingan when Cleveland was here. And Nikola Jokic is one of the best in the business. He took it to DC. Now, Rudy Gobert plays a little more like Donovan Clingan. Big, defensive, clog the paint, make you work. I'm a mountain of muscle. I'm going to push you around. And we've seen Donovan Clingan play against centers like that. Look at what happened when Houston came through and he had to play against Steven Adams, because Steven Adams plays grown man basketball. So does Rudy Gobert. So I think this is a really, really good test for DC tonight. He's going to continue to get tested as he gets better and better, and I still think he's going to get better and better. A young center in this league, very easy to forget that he's in his first year as a starter and just his second year in the league. Sometimes you're like, come on, you've been doing this forever, DC, like he's a 5-year starter. He's not. He'll be fine. But tonight is going to be a great test for Donovan Clingan and, of course, everyone else, because anytime you get Anthony Edwards on the floor, the scoring show is going to be there. Can the Blazers stop it? Defense against Phoenix, yeah, you're going to have to do your best to replicate that. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you would like to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. Of course, you go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, or hit us up on the text line at 88528. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to head to the Coach's Corner here from head coach Tiago Splitter here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Brewed Coors Light. Tournament time is just around the corner, and I'm going to celebrate the big basketball tournament by stocking my fridge with Frost Brewed.
They are closer to being the 3rd seed in the West than they are being a play-in team. They are, yeah, they're good. They're good. And they beat Portland a couple times. So Portland definitely needs to be locked in, ready to go. Their defense needs to just be ready. They need to make sure there's no lag. The internet's connected right. They got full connection, full bars. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get timed out. They got to bring it. Defensively is going to be the key against this team. And if your good defense can lead to good offense, even better. Now, I know against the Suns, the good offense wasn't there, but I still think that is something that you can get to. All right, speaking of, getting ready for this game, let's head down to the press conference here from head coach Tiago Splitter. It's time for the Coach's Corner.
Light. Choose chill, Portland.
False alarm. Sorry, just spill for a minute.
Oh, that's funny. False alarm. Michael Shacker told me we were ready to go. He said, hold on. So guess what? As soon as he starts talking, he'll pot him up, and we'll know that he's there. Sometimes you just got to, I think I heard him. Heard a door open. That's, nope, we didn't. We need to get Shacker one of those closed circuit cameras in there so he always knows as soon as Tiago's right there. But it's okay. As soon as he starts talking, we'll head down to the Coach's Corner and hear from him. Hopefully get some updates on who's available, updates on Robert Williams, who's dealing with a little bit of an injury, updates on Shaedon Sharpe. I haven't heard from Coach, but you obviously saw the press release that he's going to be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks after finding a stress reaction in his left fibula. So just a rough time when it comes to injuries for your Trailblazers, especially Denny Avdia out. So who's going to step up? Maybe you get an idea of who the starting lineup is, because that's going to be something that I think we all look at. With no Denny, and obviously you haven't had Sharp for a while. Is it time to throw it to Scoot, get him out there? We'll find out. Let's hear from Coach.
What was your reaction to the news about Shaedon Sharpe?
Tough one. Kind of like got used to already, but honestly, we gotta, be careful there and wait for those weeks and see how he's doing. So, to be honest, just gotta keep moving forward.
Is that something where he was complaining about certain pain or whatever, and you guys needed to do further tests? Is that how that came to be?
No, I mean, he's been having those calf issues throughout the year. Just the image. We had to ask for a second opinion, and he has something on the bone there. So just gotta wait and see how he progresses through these weeks, and we go from there.
So he has a calf strain so it's two separate things. Okay. You have a bunch of young guys who have never been in a position where they've been in the postseason hunt before this time of year. Are you excited to see kind of how they respond to kind of the chase of this time of year?
I do. I think it's something really important in a career, right? Like fight for those things and to be in the playoffs and to be in the play-in and put yourself in those moments where you compete for something big. So excited for them. Luckily, I've been around a lot of those situations, so I can relate to them and talk to them about those situations. A lot of our guys are facing this moment of their career, and it's special. Nothing like that.
What are you relaying to? Because you hear all the time about this guy or this coach or this veteran on the team has championship experience to teach. What does that actually look like from what are you?
There's different situations in the game during the week that only with the experience you can give an opinion, and if you don't have the experience, you just whatever you're hearing. But I think we have a lot of those guys. We have Drew that is playing right now. We have guys that are being part of similar situations, playing to get to the playoffs. So the more guys you have and the more people helping these young guys to develop and create this winning culture, the better.
What gives you confidence that this group is ready for the challenge ahead?
Oh, we will fight. I'm not saying we're going to do it. We're going to fight. And I believe, yeah.
What gives you confidence in this group that they are ready to?
I think they've proven a lot of people wrong during the season. We fighting through all the adversity that we face, and pretty much this is what we have these last 24 games. A lot of adversity that we got to go through, and just keep getting better and fight every night and compete every night.
You had mentioned when the team got to 500 that you felt like it's like that's not really something to celebrate. Like we should want to be better than that. So I guess in that regard, kind of like what is your goal? I guess, or what would you feel like is success?
I don't think, again, it's not. You shouldn't see wins and losses as you go. You should see next game. That's it. That's all you gotta look for. Next game. If you look too far from that, is delusional. You're not looking and prepare for the moment.
Sorry. What's your broad assessment of Scoot since he's been back? What have you liked? What are the improvement areas?
I think he brings a physicality, to our team that is different. He brings space and playmaking and passing and something that we crave the whole season, and it's just good to see there. He also trying to figure out how to play with his teammates and to be effective. It's not perfect yet, far from it. I think he can get way better, but it's just refreshing to see, the power that he has on his plays, on how to get to the rim, how to find teammates and create his own shot. So that's the refreshing part about Scoot.
Do you have a handle on Denny right now, and is it like a day-to-day situation, or how are you guys approaching that?
Yeah, it's a day-to-day, but also, a little bit like we got to figure out this. We cannot be in and out every 2-3 games. So it's something to sit down with doctors and second, third, fourth, fifth opinions and go from there, to be honest. I don't want to be in and out every night.
Who's starting tonight with Denny out?
Coach, you ever been a part of 2 games where you...
Chris.
Yeah. Have you ever been part of 2 games before in your career where you've seen a team give up 157 and then 77 in the next one? It's quite the swing.
No, never.
How do you kind of talk to the guys about that? Is that just kind of a blip on the radar, or is there something deeper there, do you think?
I think first game it was almost like the perfect storm for us. I don't want to, go through the details, but it was the perfect storm. And the second game, we were a wounded wolf that wants to fight, and that's what we did.
Thank you all.
And there you hear from head coach Tiago Splitter, and a couple things there of note that were interesting. His take there on Denny Avdia, talking about how they need to definitely get him in line and figure out what that injury is, because they can't be doing this in and out stuff. Play a few games, sit a few games. They got to get him healthy. Get all your opinions, your third, fourth, fifth opinions, as he said, and do what needs to be done to make sure he's ready to go. So you just have him full on and healthy. That's what you need from him. You can't have him at 50%. You need him at 100%. And that's important. He also talked about the playmaking of Scoot Henderson, which I think has been on full display. I think Scoot is unfortunately labeled a little wrong, because he was drafted in the same summer that the team traded Damian Lillard, and everyone automatically connected the two as point guards and wanted him to fill that void and go be a scorer. And he's a playmaker. Like I said, he reminds me more of a Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, CP3, Tony Parker. I don't know why I almost want to say Tony Stark. Tony Parker. Those guys who could score, but they let playmaking be their primary skill set. Now, Jason Kidd, he could light it up when he needed to. Steve Nash, right? CP3 could obviously score. But playmaking is what they did. They set others up, and they made their offensive units work well. So that's how I've always envisioned Scoot. Now, it's lofty to put him in the same category as those 4 guys. Like, is he a Steve Nash? No, because right now he's not an MVP. Is he a Tony Parker? No, because he's not one of the best players on a championship team right now. but he's still that type of mold where his playmaking is what sets him apart. And I want him to continue to grow and feel good in that role. And hopefully it's as a starter eventually, because the team could use him in that starting lineup. Maybe tonight or on this road trip as the team's dealing with injuries. We shall see. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. Of course, you can hit us up on the text line, 88528, or go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the NBA scoreboard reports, see what games are going on that will impact your Trailblazers. And here in about 15-ish minutes, the man, the myth, the legend, Chad Doing will join me for Keys to the Game. All right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Again by Megadeth, which is a good song, by the way. Great song. Makes me think that Donovan Clingan needs to play like that. Needs to play angry. I loved playing against Phoenix where he's doing, the shrugging off the shoulder. Get off me. Get off me. Feisty Donovan Clingan is fun. Feisty Donovan Clingan is a dang good center. So hopefully the Blazers get a little bit of feisty Donovan Clingan tonight. That would be wonderful. It would be so nice to see. He needs to start putting these games together because sometimes we'll see good Donovan, then we'll see bad Donovan. And I want to preface my critiques of Donovan Clingan with the fact that I believe he is going to be great. At this point, we're just looking at him going, okay, now I feel like I can really start to pick his game apart where he needs to improve, and I feel like he's going to improve in those places. But he has been a big reason for this team's success as of late, and hopefully he is a reason that they can go in, get a win tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that last time they played the Trailblazers absolutely walloped them. So can Portland bounce back from that? It was only 11 days ago. 133-109 victory for Minnesota at the Target Center. They outscored the Blazers 32-26 in the first quarter, outscored them 37-27 in the fourth, outscored them in all four quarters. They had more points in the paint. Fast break points, 25-5 in favor of Minnesota. Points off turnovers, the big difference. 43 points off turnovers for Minnesota compared to just 16 for Portland. And Minnesota turned the ball over just 15 times. Portland turned the ball over 26. So again, you get up above those 20s in the turnovers, it's going to be a rough game. And it was a rough one for them in Phoenix because they turned the ball over 21 times. Good thing they forced 23 Phoenix turnovers. So you need to do that again tonight. Play defense like you did in Phoenix against this Minnesota team because last time out, they absolutely demolished you. They took all your turnovers, turned them into easy points on the other end because they love to get out. Guys like Naz Reid will hit that three or dunk it. Anthony Edwards will get out in space and put on a dunk fest. But you look at that last game, and that's exactly what you can pinpoint. Turnovers and points off turnovers. There was almost a 30-point difference right there. And the Blazers need to fix that. You got to find a way to control the ball. In that game, Drew Holiday had 6 turnovers, 5 turnovers for Denny Avdia, who will not be in the lineup tonight. 5 turnovers for Scoot Henderson. You got to find a way to hold on to the basketball, my friends. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, long night for the Trailblazers. Play defense, hold on the ball. And we'll talk about that just a little bit here when we add Chad Doing to the broadcast for our keys to the game. But right now, it's time for an NBA scoreboard report. All right, let's take a look around the NBA right now, see what's going on and how it may or may not be impacting your Portland Trailblazers right now. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. The Pacers are losing to the 76ers 83-72. Tyrese Maxey with 21 points, 7 boards, and 7 assists already. In Atlanta, the Wizards trailing the Hawks 58-41. Jonathan Kuminga making his debut for the Hawks. He has 7 points. Dallas has a 67-55 lead over Brooklyn with 3 minutes left in the second. At halftime, Oklahoma has a 60-51 lead over the Raptors. 3 minutes left in the second. New York 46, Cleveland 50. Charlotte 31, the Bulls 31 at the end of the first quarter. Miami 27, Milwaukee 27 with a minute left in the first. And one for you to watch if you're a Blazers fan. Right now, end of the first quarter, the Pelicans 31, the Warriors 19. Keep in mind that when you look at the standings, the Warriors are right above the Blazers right now with a 2.5 game lead. So you want them to lose a few, and you need the Blazers to win a few. And then another one that may impact the Blazers coming up tonight, tip-off at 6 p.m. Celtics at Suns. Peyton Pritchard has been on a hot streak, so maybe he can torch Phoenix a little bit. And then you have Magic at Lakers tip-off at 7:30. And, of course, Blazers taking on the Timberwolves here at 7 o'clock. The NBA Score report is powered by McCord's Vancouver Toyota, where they live by the slogan, "We make it easy." Check out their inventory now at vancouvertoyota.com. There you go. I love the fact that we are at the point of the year where we get to look at the scoreboard and we get to analyze it, and we actually have to watch it. We get to look at games that impact the Blazers in a way that we didn't do for the last 4 seasons. Okay, well, Blazers really need this team to lose because that's going to add to their odds of getting the #1 overall pick. Not anymore. Now it's like, oh, they need that team to lose because that's going to help the Blazers maybe jump up to the 8th spot in the play-in and have a better chance of making it to the playoffs. It's a good place to be. I like that. I like that. A full slate of NBA games tonight. Reminder, too, for those of you looking for it on TV, this game is on Peacock tonight. It is a Peacock broadcast. Portland got lucky, though, that this is not one of those atrocious 8 p.m. tips. I think this was one of the games that got moved a little bit. Those 8 p.m. ones are brutal. They're brutal. They're not fun to stay up that late. I don't like it. I used to, as a fan, I loved it, especially football, because I loved some football under the lights, and it was just beautiful. It'd get cold, you bundle up, it's awesome. And then you start working, and you're like, nah, I don't like overtime, and I don't like late-night games. I'd rather just get home. Unless it's awesome overtime games, because that 4 overtime game against Denver that we all remember in the playoffs, that was phenomenal. At that point, like, I didn't even want it to end. I was like, at this point, let's just go to 5. Let's just go to let's set a record. Let's keep going. Let's have some fun. Speaking of fun, we're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, Chad Doing's going to join me for our keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves? We will let you know when we return here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, Chad Doing here with me now. Chad, I think the keys to the game might be pretty simple because you look at what happened last time these two teams matched up. Minnesota had 43 points off turnovers and forced 26 Portland turnovers. I think ball security may be key tonight.
I think so. I mean, it's an issue for Portland turnovers. I don't know what the solution is there because the coach wants them to play fast. But I was thinking about what you were talking about earlier with Rudy Gobert. I think the key tonight is to use Donovan Klingen's ability to shoot the three. You've got to get Gobert away from the rim and get him out defending in space, much like teams do to Klingen. And if you can get him away from the basket a little bit, it's going to open up some opportunities for guys like Scoot and Grant to get to the rim. So find a way to get Rudy Gobert away from the rim. If they do that, they'll have a chance to have some success.
Yeah, and one way to do that is obviously you do have DC who can shoot that three ball a little bit, but how does Minnesota defend that? Because I could see the situation where they obviously throw like a Naz Reid out there who's a little bit quicker, so you got to be a little more – it's more creative than just simply taking your center and putting him out and hoping that draws the center out too.
Yeah, Naz Reid is one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA. I was just watching him warm up. He's got one of the quickest releases for a big I've ever seen in my life. He is a terrific guy with range. He's physical. This Minnesota team is now healthy. But as we've seen, like in their last game against Philadelphia, they're kind of a hit-and-miss type team. So if the Blazers can get Gobert away from the rim a bit, attack, and do a good job of getting to the free throw line, they'll have a chance to compete tonight. But a tough matchup, no question, because Minnesota's length, the way they disrupt the passing lanes, the way they can, swipe at the ball and create turnovers, they're a force in that department. And for the Blazers, ball security has been their biggest weakness. I think of all the issues that they have the rest of the way, finding a way to clean up the turnovers a bit will be very helpful for them down the stretch.
Yeah, they gotta turn those over. And then, of course, there's been two games against Minnesota. And in the first game, it was a 40-piece game from Anthony Edwards. And then in the last game, it was Julius Randle who went off. So it's not just Anthony Edwards that you have to worry about. You got to worry about all their weapons because they don't really have a weak spot. Yes, they're the sixth team in the West, but they're very, very good, Jeff.
They are. They're good. And they got multiple guys who can shoot the three. I just like this matchup for Portland because it's a good test for them. Not an easy matchup. They're going to have to really fight to be able to get this one here. But in terms of the games that we were talking about with more significance for these young guys to get experience and really learn how to win these type of games, it's a great opportunity for the Blazers tonight. And I'm excited to see how they respond. And I'm going to be paying attention to two things. Tamani Kamara on Anthony Edwards, love that. And then that battle down low between Klingen and Rudy Gobert to see who's able to get the upper hand. Like, I love those two games within the game tonight are ones I'm really looking forward to watching.
Yeah, those are easily the two I'm watching. Then if there's a third, I just want to see Scoot Henderson. I want to see how he gets flowing because I think they're going to need a big game from him. And by big, I don't mean go out there and score 25. I just mean don't turn it over and be smart with your play creation.
Yeah, even Klingen, who was dominant on Sunday, he turned it over 5 times. Scoot's had turnover issues since he came back, and Drew Holiday's been very careless with the basketball of late. So it's like all of your primary ball handlers have had turnover issues. That's a problem.
Yeah, which just feels uncharacteristic, too. So we'll see tonight against Minnesota. And also, how does Minnesota get away with, we're going to trade Mike Conley. He's going to get traded, waived. Let's re-sign him, bring him back.
He's like one of the ultimate Iron Men in the NBA. I love him. He understands his role and what he needs to do to help this team. And he's a smart guy that makes good decisions out there on the floor. And he's always on the move. Like, he's not a stationary type player. You got to keep an eye on him, and he's really smart. He understands the game and how to play. So I respect him a great deal. Love him.
All right, Chad, you're gonna have to put more protein bars in your bag because I got you burning calories. I got to let you go. You got to run down the stairs.
I did. I just ran up the stairs. I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm going to run back down the stairs. So I appreciate the extra activity.
That's right. Be sure. Thanks, Chad, for joining me. As always,
why didn't I hear the open for Keys to the Game?
I heard it.
I didn't hear anything.
Maybe your ears are just. Oh, I turned the headset down. I think.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Well, hey, you know what? I got to produce YouTube and do all that stuff too. So
right,
my bad.
Thanks. There we go. Now I can hear it.
There you go.
I thought something was wrong. I was like, is Shacker going to fire the sounder or what?
He fired it. I heard it.
All right, man.
All right.
Enjoy the game.
Absolutely. Be sure to catch Chad coming up here in about 10 minutes on the Trailblazers pregame show across the Trailblazers audio network. That's funny. I totally didn't realize I had that audio in his ear potted down. He did. He gave me the look, too. It was the look of panic of, whoa, where's the sounder? Where's the sounder? It's like, it's right there. I heard it, but that's what happens. I was trying to make sure this stuff wasn't going over YouTube like it wasn't supposed to, The balancing act here. The balancing act. Also, just got a text from our boy Bobby, a.k.a. Timmy Hammock, in the YouTube chat. Got our cups. That's right, Young Hansen Cup Night, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. The cup collections are coming around in full swing. I think the only one I have is Shaded Sharp. I never even used it, and it has a crack in it. Get it? My cup's injured. It doesn't have a crack in it, though. It is a beautiful, beautiful glass. I will say, joking aside, I absolutely love that the Blazers brought back the glass series, because it's so awesome that piece of nostalgia that has always been here is back. Because you grew up, you remembered like the Dairy Queen glasses. That's what it was at the time. But you had Uncle Cliffy sitting there on your glass, and everyone had those forever. Everyone remembers him so fondly. So bringing it back and like getting that nostalgia pop now is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I just got to work my hey, I'm here every game and cover the team magic, because I have one glass, and the only reason I have it is because they gave it to us to pub on the radio show. Like, I don't get one, even though I'm here like 3 hours before tip. I don't get one. Got to work on that. But get down here, get your glass. Get ready for Blazers versus Timberwolves coming up across the Rip City Radio Network and here on Rip City Radio 620. Like Chad said, it's going to be a good game. The Blazers team's going to be tested tonight. As some of our YouTube chatters said, who's going to guard Julius Randle? Like, that's such a good question, because Julius Randle's pretty good. You got to account for him. He torched you last time. Don't let it happen again. Don't turn the ball over, like we said. And don't let them get 43 points off turnovers, and I think you will be fine. Music means it's time to go. For me, not for you. You keep it locked in, because the man you just heard Chad doing has the Trailblazers pregame show coming up across the Trailblazers audio network, and then he'll hand over to Travis Demers. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. Blazers versus Timberwolves right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. After the game, it's the fifth quarter, where hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.